right, welcome to another episode. We are here at the SEMA Show day before it opens with the team at Ferrari and Brian, who brought this incredible Dino EV. So when I was just walking and I saw the Dino, I was like, this is a very nice Dino, but then I realized it was electric.
Yeah.
You did something awesome. So let's go through everything, the project, the drivetrain you've been using, but the level of finishing of this is just incredible.
Right.
So I've never seen anything like this in the EV conversion world. So
yeah, thanks.
Let's get cracking.
Yeah, so my good friend Ed Moncada, this is his car. He commissioned us to he wanted a classic Italian car. He wanted to make it electric, and he wanted to customize everything. So he came to us, told us what he wanted. We went and found the car, purchased the car, shipped it from Florida, and got it, drove it in, took it completely apart, and reimagined pretty much everything.
Did he want a particular model or brand, or just
He was
Italian?
looking for 72. That's his birth year. So he wanted 72, and that's what we got. Yeah.
All right. So how did we start? So you get the car from Florida, and was it a running car?
It was running and driving. We drove it around a little bit, had a good time with it before we took it apart, and we stripped it down to nothing, just a shell. We had it on a rolling cage, and went through everything. So. The Italian, the leather is actually imported from Italy from an Italian company called, I'm not going to pronounce this right, but Liet Me Special.
Oh, it's Italian.
Yeah. We did the wheels. Those are custom design. We designed those in CAD, and then had them milled out of billet by EVOD. Those are in the style of the old school Campanello wheels that you would see in a car like this. And then the color, obviously, we did a ton of iterations. We didn't want to do the traditional Ferrari red. We wanted to do something that would really pop. And we worked with a company called Colors and Design out of Temecula, and they did a phenomenal job with the color.
Is it inspired by your original color in any way? Or
Not at all. It's the owner told us he wanted something teal.
Okay.
And
well,
so we got as close as we could.
All right. So what were the main steps? So you received the car. I imagine you take it down to the bare body.
Yeah. So we received the car, and then we end up doing a bunch of 3D renders for the customer. We're a really high touch, like boutique type service. And so we try to keep the customers as involved as possible in the process, especially early on. So he had a lot to do with, stance and wheel decisions and color. And then interior, he said, I just don't like the original interior. Just do anything you want. And so it's a completely custom design interior that we had installed by California Upholstery.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about the drivetrain and the challenge to maybe install this particular drivetrain in a relatively small engine bay. Yeah,
for sure. So as it turns out, the Dino is perfect for an EV conversion. The mid-engine setup where the original motor goes is perfect for this 45 kilowatt hour battery pack. Yeah. And then we use a Cascadia Motion IDM 190 inverter and motor, and it fits perfectly right over the wheels. So a little bit heavier than the original weight. I forget the exact numbers, but it's somewhere around 2,800 pounds. But the weight distribution is identical to what it originally was.
So it's still a mid-engine.
It's still a mid-engine. Feels like a Ferrari when you're driving. You just don't have the sound behind you.
Let's talk performance compared to what the original one was when it was new and what you deliver now.
Original one was somewhere between 180 and 200 horsepower.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, and this now with this setup, 45 kilowatt hour battery pack and the IDM 190, we're pushing 325 horsepower. So much faster than it was originally.
Do you have a traction control on this system?
No, nothing yet, nothing fancy. We really just got the basics done. We wanted to make sure that we drove it into SEMA, that it was running and driving, we weren't pushing it in. But we have a lot of plans. We're gonna take it home and add some more advanced features like that.
Okay. Is this a drivetrain you'll be using more in future projects?
Definitely. The Cascadia Motion stuff is pretty solid from a reusability standpoint. Makes it really easy to adapt to many vehicles. So we'll definitely be using more of this, especially with the transverse axle. It makes it good for anything that's like rear, front wheel drive, or even has like the rear independent.
Do you think you could have fitted more than 40 kilowatt hour if the customer had wanted to? Or?
Yeah, we can probably get up to 60 if we were okay taking up some space, or like the front.
Something we haven't mentioned, you still have plenty of room in the front and the back.
Yeah, there's actually room underneath here as well. So we could have fit more, but again, trying to keep it light, and 40 kilowatt hours on this,
it's plenty.
As the math says, we'll get about 200 miles of range. So it's a,
depends how much you burn the rubber.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, just like anything.
Let's talk about the cooling. I noticed you have a fantastic grill.
Yeah, that's a custom design grill, designed in-house, and then we had EVOD mill it out of a single piece of aluminum for us.
All right.
So yeah.
And it's all inspired by the design of the wheels also?
Yeah. So you can see like the same
pattern,
same in there. We did a lot of custom touches on this stuff. I mean, even down to like the door locks. The plate on top of the battery pack is something we designed and milled in house. The shifter knob, the plate on the center console is all custom built in house. The center part of the steering wheel, the entire dash we designed in CAD, and then 3D printed parts of it and put it together. So it's all one of a kind, one of a kind until we build our next one.
Do you think there's a market for like 70s Ferraris or Italian cars in general?
For sure. This is such, like I was saying earlier, this is such a perfect platform for electrification.
Yeah.
I don't know why, and it's amazing drive. It's fun to drive. It kind of retains a lot of the original classic feel of these cars. I mean, I would be surprised if we don't get
more interest
in this. Yeah.
So the car being so light, you didn't need to upgrade the brakes so much?
No, not too much. We did put aftermarket brakes from Gyro Disc on there, which is kind of like a traditional Ferrari aftermarket replacement company.
Yep.
But given that the car is, like I said, maintained a similar weight as stock, we didn't really have to do many upgrades to that.
Right.
And it was a Ferrari, so they had some good stuff on it to begin with.
Okay. What I know about 70s Ferrari is the bodywork is not always the best. So, and this one looks fantastic. Did it require a lot of work?
We did a lot of stuff. There's panels in the rear that we replaced entirely. There was a lot of old lead work on it from back in the day that we either replaced with sheet metal or Bondo or what have you, but this was a pretty clean car to begin with. There wasn't a lot of Bondo, there wasn't a lot of lead. We did shave the doors, so there's no locks or anything on the doors. And then some minor work in the back, but yeah, there was definitely a lot of body work, and we did a lot to the structural components. We added additional cross members and other things to give more rigidity, given the fact that we were going to end up putting a battery in it, even though it ended up being the same weight. So.
But just for taking into consideration the power and the torque you're adding, it just makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's the future for this vehicle? It's going to be handed to its owner? Is it going to do concours?
I'm not sure what he wants to do with it yet. He's already talking about doing a Lamborghini Mira with us.
Wow.
So
I mean, this is going to upset quite a few people, but if he does the Lamborghini, people are going to hate us.
He's going to see it for the first time this week. So he's coming out, I think, on Wednesday.
So it's a mega reveal then, not just for the public, but also for the owner. All right, as you say, Brian, the interior is fully custom made, and it does look like a OEM prototype or concept car. It is. It just smells so nice also. Tell us a bit more about how you managed to build everything.
Yeah, so a lot of it was designed in CAD and then 3D printed, and then, you know, for prototypes. And then we take the 3D prints and fabricate metal shells, and then kind of, you know, put it all together there. We designed custom digital dash, so that's a digital display in there. It's something we do on a lot of our vehicles. But yeah, this is our designer's Brian. His name is Brian as well, Brian Garst. Combination of him and our lead mechanical engineer Sam did most of the design and concepting in here, and brought this to life.
Did you bring a AC system?
Oh yeah. So yeah, we have full air conditioning and heating. We use Restomod Air for their main box, and then had to do a lot of customizations to that to get it to fit under the dash and everything.
All right. This is almost too nice to just be a one-off. Like, people will want something similar.
No. We have everything in CAD. We have the designs. We can replicate this. We actually added electric power steering to it as well. So it's got power steering, power brakes, which they never had originally.
So what are the next projects for you guys?
So we've got a 57 Brits in the works right now for a customer that we're pretty excited about. Cadillac Brits, a really rare car. We've got a really interesting all-wheel drive 60s Mustang, and then hopefully, like I said earlier, this guy wants to do a Lamborghini Miura, so maybe we'll be debuting that in a couple of years at at another SEMA.
All right, guys, this is definitely one of the nicest builds I've ever seen in the EV conversion world, and it's just magnificent, not as an EV, but as a car in general. So tell us a bit more where we could find you if we want to order something similar.
Yeah, we're based out of Los Angeles. Website is current-la.com.
Easy enough.
You can also hit us up on Instagram, current.Los Angeles.
All right. What are the next build you're going to do that you may be happy to share a little bit, just a little bit with us, Brian?
We'd really love to build a Pantera.
Oh, yes.
We'd love to do a Pantera. Brian and I both want a Pantera ourselves and talk about it all the time.
Right.
So
Kind of a bucket list
that's definitely
car.
a bucket list car for us.
Yeah, and there's a ton of room in those for
Are you
some
guys
serious
also
power.
doing trucks and rods? I know you did Ford also.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of everything. Everything that the LA culture has to bring, you'll be converting to EV. And this takes about 2 years. Do you have a waiting list, or how long does it take if we come to current?
Right now, we could probably get someone in. So, no, there's no waiting list. There's never a waiting list at current.
No, we're trying. We'll hire more people. We want to get more of these cars out there.
That's the perfect answer.
Yeah.
This is our passion. This is what we want to do. We don't want people to wait. We don't want to wait. You know.
Right.
So,
Guys, congrats again, and thank you for having us. Guys,
Thank you.
I'll see you in the next one.